I'm David Behar. I'm a photographer and art director based in Los Angeles, California, but I grew up in Florida. Yeah, so I got into photography initially off of my love of skimboarding. I love skimboarding so much that I want to take all these photos of skimboarding and show my friends, and then post them online, to show that look, South Florida has good waves for skimboarding. It's nobody ever believed that South Florida had good waves. So yeah, my dad also was an influence in my photography. He took a lot of photos when he was younger. So when I asked him, hey, could I get a camera for my birthday? He was excited because it would give him a chance to kind of share one of his hobbies with me growing up. So that was fun, yeah. My process for taking photos is, well, first I check the weather. I see if it's nice out. I love good sunny weather. So if it's great out, I'm all right, maybe I'll go shoot today. Then I'll go to a beach I've either been wanting to shoot or know how to shoot because I've shot it before, and then I'm okay, this will be a good day to shoot. So I'll kind of, just head there for a couple hours, usually the middle of the day. I like the sun to be very high to kind of reduce shadows, get everything sort of nice and blown out. And then I pack up and head out. My main gear is a Pentax K1, just a large digital camera with a 24 to 70 2.8 lens. And that's about it. It's pretty bare bones, just one digital SLR, one lens, and then go out, take some photos, wait until I either get sunburned or dehydrated, then head back. Specific way I want to look at it is I'll wander around the beach and I'll find a composition I find interesting, or an umbrella or a person, and then I'll just kind of awkwardly stand around and sort of wait by them or around the area for anywhere between 5 to 15 minutes until they get in the position that I see right, and just hope they do the right thing, or someone walks by in the right direction, or kind of goes into a spot I imagine. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. It's honestly just a waiting game, and it just has to do with being patient, because when you can't really rush photography. You can't rush photography out in the real world without sort of manipulating the environment. And I always want my photography to feel like it's grounded in the real world. All these photos exist. Even with some editing, it's okay, this is possible, this could have happened at this moment. But I always want it to be oh yeah, that's just a nice scene that's sort of there, it exists, it really happened. Instead of a digital manipulation. It's oh well, yeah, that's clearly just a faked sort of set or stage. So I always want the element of realism involved in it, while also kind of retaining some sense of timelessness, and fantasy is not the right word, but just sort of almost an ethereal effect to them that kind of makes them feel grander, but still grounded in reality. To develop patience for getting the right shot in photography, we have to want it and really care about it. Because I don't know, the way I see it, I'd rather shoot for a whole day and get one photo I love rather than 10 to 20 photos I just like or I think are okay. My mentality is always how can I go out and get a photo today that I would want to print out and put on my wall or display somewhere. If none of the photos kind of meet that criteria, then And it's like, yeah, it's kind of a bummer. So because of that, I'm willing to wait. Just wait for the right moment and the right time for it to present itself. Because like if I rush it, then it's not going to be good. I'm not going to like it, and it'll be pointless. So yeah, I think patience is definitely a big part of my work in that sense. I guess it's less so than a lot of photographers who have like many lenses and like bounces or flashes or lights or work in the studio. Like at that point, it always gets like very complicated for me, and I don't know, I just kind of like to keep my life and things like very simple. I like don't like carrying a lot of stuff. That's also like a big part, is I like just being light and mobile and kind of always able to like go to different spots without much trouble. Yeah, the look and feel are very different, because like phone photography is always sort of like very in the moment. It's like, oh, here's a great photo, I'm gonna like pull out my phone and grab a shot. There's like no planning, it's just sort of like coming across things. So yeah, I think that also, yeah, comes into my work a little bit, because when I shoot with my camera, it's like I'm in like a very kind of like state of mind, like, oh, I'm out here to get photos. Like this is what I want to do and like where I want to be. Like with my cell phone, it's just like, oh, I'm at like a birthday party, or I'm walking to the store, and like there's a camera on me, but I'm not really thinking about it. So I'll like see something and I'll be like, oh yeah, like this would make like a very interesting photo that I wouldn't have ever considered before as like a place to bring my camera. So I think it's nice in that way, that you just sort of start thinking about photography and seeing it all around you without even realizing it, just by the fact of like having a camera on you at that moment, or at pretty much any moment, because yeah, we're never not with our phones now, so. Yeah, I guess my advice for anyone looking for a hobby or something new to get into, whether it's photography or otherwise, is make sure you're doing it because you love doing it. A lot of people get into these like, oh, hobbies, and like, oh, how can I monetize this? How can I turn this into a side income? And really, I don't think hobbies should exist in that way. Like, you should do a hobby because like it brings you joy. And if it does end up getting you some money, a little bit here and there, then like great, like that's awesome. If you turn in a career out of it, then also great. But when you go into a new hobby, especially like photography, just go into it because you like it, like because you love doing it, you enjoy it, and it's something you want to do. It doesn't have to be complicated, you don't have to get caught up in gear or anything. You don't even need more than your phone to be a photographer. Like, it just depends how far you want to take it and what you want to do with it. Then, yeah, just go out, try it. You might hate it, you might love it, and see where it takes you.